famous chicken dinners. The food served here is half the reason for visiting the farm in the first place. It must be good. As many as 9,000 chicken dinners have been served here in just one day. The rustic, ancient buildings of Ghost Town are in direct contrast to the spick-and-span dining rooms. 500 people can sit down for dinner in this room alone. Yet most folks have no idea of the teamwork, organization, and skill taking place in the kitchen that made their dinner possible. Let's go behind the scenes. Through that door is the kitchen. Come on along. We're going to take a special tour of some of the places visitors to the farm never get the chance to see. This busy lady is Mrs. Cordelia Knott. This is her kitchen. She's got a lot of help now, but Mrs. Knott runs her kitchen today just as she did back in 1934. That was the year Knott's Berry Farm served their first chicken dinners. Mrs. Knott cooked them, of course, and they were served by her daughters on the family wedding china to 8 people that first day. Mrs. Knott couldn't have dreamed what she started that afternoon. As the wife of a struggling farmer, she only served the chicken dinners to help out with family expenses. The Knotts never intended to go into the restaurant business, but the next day there were a few more guests, and in a matter of weeks, their little farm was swamped. Crowds stood in line outside their door, and each day the line grew larger. Today, 1,850 people can sit down to dinner at one time at Knott's Berry Farm. Theirs is a fantastic success story. But like most successes, it is also a story of hard work and love of a job being well done. Even now, with achievement behind them, their day starts early. The Knotts literally get up with the chickens. Early morning outside the chicken dinner kitchen is always a scene of busy activity. Delivery trucks come and go like clockwork. On hand to check off the incoming supplies is a third generation of the Knott family. This is Ken Knott, grandson of Walter and Cordelia. Ken is learning the restaurant business by assuming part of the responsibility of the management of the chicken dinner restaurant and kitchen. It's a big job, and he's learning it from the bottom up. It takes a tremendous amount of supplies to keep this huge kitchen running smoothly. Last year, in the 5 dining rooms, they used 1,166,904 napkins and place settings. During the same 12 months, 224,000 bags of flour were used, enough to make nearly 500,000 pies or more than 10 million biscuits. The big item, of course, is the chicken. Last year, a total of 1.5 million pounds of chicken went through this preparation room and were served to visitors to the farm. The chickens are held under refrigeration before cooking for just the proper amount of time to ensure tenderness, flavor, and taste. Pies baked and served in the chicken dinner restaurant are fixed in the same way Mrs. Knott baked them years ago when she was making just a few a day to sell at their roadside stand. Most of the people who work in her kitchen did not have previous experience in cooking or baking. She likes to bring them in fresh and train them in her method. Some of them have worked in this kitchen more than a quarter of a century. Machinery is available for much of this work, but Mrs. Knott insists on it being done by hand. She says the pies just don't taste the same otherwise. These 3 ladies represent more than half a century of pie-making experience. Last year, they baked 93,408 pies, and every one of them had that home-cooked taste. The menu for the chicken dinner is almost the same as it was that first day in 1934. Matter of fact, this is probably the only restaurant in the world that has served rhubarb every day for well over 25 years. In the year just passed, they cooked and served 75,000 pounds of it, and every stalk was grown right here on the farm grounds. Throughout the Midwest, Rhubarb is known to a lot of folks as pie plant because rhubarb pie is so popular. But here it's served as an appetizer. Over in the biscuit department, you'll find some ladies who have been right here in Mrs. Knott's kitchen for a good many years. Their length of service shows through in the proficiency and skill they demonstrate in their work. Last year, they used 14,000 gallons of buttermilk while making 4 million biscuits. The very same individual treatment given to the pies and the biscuits is also accorded every piece of chicken cooked in this kitchen. It is carefully rolled in dough and then fried until it's a mouth-watering golden brown. Even though they serve thousands of chicken dinners a day, all of it is cooked in small batches. This is the way Mrs. Knott has always insisted her dinners be cooked. It's the secret of that wonderful home-cooked taste and flavor. It's hard to believe this famous restaurant started in one room in a little roadside farmhouse. Since that afternoon in 1934, more than 20 million people have eaten Mrs. Knott's incomparable chicken dinners.